Hi guys and welcome to the channel. My name's Jamie and today I'm going to be talking you through Britain's most and least affordable areas to live. Before we get into the video, please smash that like button and hit subscribe for more great content. Alright guys, let's get into it. So, Britain's most and least affordable areas to live. It's not going to take the detectives amongst you much time to discover that London is the most expensive place in the country to live. Should we just cut the video now? Maybe not quite. The London boroughs of Kensington and Chelsea are the least affordable, and in East Ayrshire in Scotland they're flying the flag for the most affordable place in the country to live, and I believe they've held that since at least 2016. All of this information today, by the way, comes from the Nationwide Price Index and is true as of January 2022. We're in March now, but I only just found this. I think it's only just been released. So the North East has the smallest gap in the country between least and most affordable boroughs, and that is the same again since 2016, and London as the largest. Again, it doesn't take a genius to work that out. 25% of local authorities in the country have actually seen an improvement in affordability since 2016, which is really good. And of those, Westminster, Cambridge, Reading and Aberdeen are amongst the areas which have seen the biggest improvements. And this is due to earnings growth in those areas, and the earnings growth outpricing the house price growth, which is good. And it's important that, you know, if you want to, you can afford to live in the area you grew up. You know, it's not fair that if you were raised in London, that you might have to move outside of that, or even to a totally different part of the country in order to afford to buy a house. It's good to see that those areas have actually, you know, had a decent wage increase as well as house price growth. It sounds great, doesn't it? Oh, 25% of areas have seen an improvement. Do you know what that means? 75% haven't. So it is still tough out there. Let's have a look at the top 12 least affordable places in the UK to live. As I said, number 1, Kensington and Chelsea in London. Number 2, Oxford in the southeast. Number 3, Hertsmere in the east of England. Number 4, the Cotswolds in the southwest. Number 5, Rutland in the Midlands. Number 6, Rydale in Yorkshire, which is interesting. That's got a 7 times earnings to house price to earnings ratio, which is quite surprising. Although I haven't actually been there, I'm sure it sounds very nice. The Malvern Hills are next in the West Midlands. South Lakeland in the northwest, again with a 6.7 times house price to earnings ratio. The Vale of Glamorgan in Wales. Wales has made an appearance, and I'm really surprised at that actually. Although there are some really nice areas of the Vale of Glamorgan. Barry, which is the sort of flagship town in that area, I wouldn't have thought that would be that much in comparison to the earnings ratio there, but apparently so. I didn't put the stats together. City of Edinburgh in Scotland, which is the only Scottish addition to this, the least affordable areas in the UK, and North Tyneside in the northeast, which has got a 4.3 times house price to earnings ratio, which actually, you know, isn't that bad, especially when you think 14.7 times house price to earnings ratio for Kensington and Chelsea. That's ludicrous. So 4.3 times for North Tyneside isn't actually that bad. Right, now that's the depressing news out of the way, the least affordable areas of the UK to live in. Now let's have a look where investors are going to be more interested in the most affordable areas to live in the UK. Okay, so running through the list then of the most affordable local authorities in the UK. Before I get into it, please hit like and subscribe. Really appreciate your support, and it really helps sort of drive me on to make these videos, do this research, you know, burying my head in a laptop to look up all this stuff. Although I enjoy it, your support, your likes, your subscriptions, they make a hell of a difference. So please do that for me, guys. Okay, the number one most affordable area in the UK, as we've said, is East Ayrshire in Scotland, with a house price to earnings ratio of 2.4 times, which is great. Number two, Copeland in the northwest. By the way, a lot of these places, I haven't got a clue where they are. Someone commented on my video the other day and said, oh yeah, you should say most affordable places in Wales to buy that are next door to your house or within walking distance. The reason that I say a lot of stuff based on Welsh areas is because that's where I know. So when I'm going through these lists, apologies if I'm pronouncing things wrong or I'm not clued up on it. I just don't know where they are, a lot of them. But I digress. Okay, County Durham in the northeast, 3.1 times house price to earnings ratio. Merthyr Tydfil, gotta be, hasn't it? Good old Merthyr, 3.4 times house price to earnings ratio in Merthyr. Barnsley is next on the affordability list. Stoke-on-Trent, the Potters. Thereafter that, 3.8 times house price to earnings ratio in Stoke-on-Trent. Bolsover in the East Midlands. Great Yarmouth in the east of England follows that. Swindon in the southwest. Actually really good commuter links from Swindon, so 5.4 times the house price to earnings ratio in Swindon, but you know, it's pretty commutable to London, commutable to Bristol. Might be worth bearing in mind that. Southampton after that, and at the bottom of the list is the London Borough of Bromley with a princely 7.4 times. So it's not actually that affordable, but apparently it's on the list. So I think it's worth noting, guys, as well, that this isn't just where's the most expensive houses in the UK. This is what's the average house price versus the average earnings in that area. So some of the lower earning places, they're also going to have lower house prices. And those, as we've spoken about, that have improved their affordability, that's because earnings have grown, not house prices have dropped. It's just something to bear in mind if you're looking through the list. By the way, if any of you want to see this information, I'll happily email it you over. If you just drop me a comment, drop me a like first, naturally, and drop me a comment in the box below. I will send this document over to you. Be happy for you to have a look. This was just a whistle-stop tour. It's quite a comprehensive document. So, you know, feel free to ask me any questions on it, or if you want to see it yourself, just get in touch. Thanks very much for listening, guys. Really appreciate it, and I'll catch you next time.